Hey there, amazing listeners. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Transform Yourself, the podcast that's all about empowering you to shed those stubborn pounds and embrace your best self. We are your hosts, Kacy and Tyler. We use the 4 M's of fitness, mind shift, meal shift, micro habits, and muscle building to create attainable and sustainable weight loss. We've lost a collective 130 pounds. We've kept it off for 2 years. And in today's podcast, we are going to do a journaling exercise with you. So if you're listening to this podcast in your home, grab yourself some paper and a pen or a pencil. If you're listening to it in your car, do not try to write in a journal. But you know what? You can still participate. Totally fine. If you're on a walk listening to us, you can still participate. You're just going to mentally answer the questions. That's all you're going to do, because that's going to be also purposeful and work out just fine for you. And later, if you would like to go back and re-listen and write down some of your answers to these things.
I feel like that kid in school that didn't bring any supplies to the test today. That I'm like, hey, can I borrow a pencil?
Yeah. Well,
can I borrow a sheet of paper? You mean, can I have a sheet of paper?
Yeah. Well.
Yes, I get it. Yes.
So get yourself prepared. We are going to do a journaling type exercise or a mental exercise where you're going to answer 3 questions that will help you kind of understand where you're at with your goal and your journey, and help you be maybe a little bit more intentional with your goal and your journey. And we're going to do this exercise a little bit with you, Tyler, because you have not done this exercise yet. Okay, question number 1 is, how in line are your behaviors with your goals? So before you start rattling off an answer to that, I want you to think about a scale from 0 to 10. And I want you to think 0 is not consistent at all. Your behaviors are not in line with your goal at all. 10 being 100% consistent. Everything you do is in alignment with every behavior you do throughout the day is in alignment with your goal. I personally am not a 10 on just about anything. So I want you to think about different behaviors.
Yep.
So let's start with sleep. How in line is, well, first of all, let's start with your goal. What is your goal? Do you have a goal? I know you do.
To put on lean mass.
To put on lean muscle mass, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yep.
So
okay.
My goal personally right now is just to kind of shed about 5 pounds. That's kind of it for me. So it's a little bit different than your goal.
Yeah.
So let's talk sleep. Sleep is a behavior. Where are you on the scale of 1 to 10?
I mean, I think generally speaking, I'm 6 out of 7 days a week in bed by 10 o'clock.
Okay. Well, but that didn't answer the question.
Okay.
Yes, you're in bed by 10 o'clock, but does that mean that you got quality and quantity sleep?
I think it's getting better. I would grade my sleep as an 8.
Okay. Our sleep definitely has gotten better over the last month, and that is because we finally, for those of you listening and have been listening for a while, we finally got blackout curtains. Yay, it happened. We put them up. They are amazing. Our bedroom is super, super dark. And then we also got the weighted blanket, which is also super amazing. Helps with...
I've liked that more than I thought I would.
It's so great. I love it. In combination, the extra dark and the extra weighted blanket, it's so nice. And my sleep quality has gotten way better than it used to be. So I would give myself a 7 out of 10. Still not great. I'm still working on it. I'm still that woman who has all the thoughts in her head and worries and can't get to sleep because my brain is going.
Screen time before bed, we're both guilty of.
We are definitely guilty of that, so I need to work on that. So
yeah,
I would give myself a 7 out of 10.
What did I say 7?
No, you said 8.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like you get a little bit better sleep than I do.
Yeah, I think it's fair. I mean, 7 would probably also be fair.
Okay, so let me name some other behaviors. Water. Okay. How are you with water?
I mean, I'm fine. I drink water. I mean,
do you drink enough water?
I'm not thirsty, so
Do you know how much water you drink?
I drink. No, I don't keep track of that actively.
Oh, okay. But you feel like you drink enough?
Yeah, I drink. I feel like I drink plenty.
Okay. I just asking because that's my job.
Okay.
So-
Like, no, I don't actively. I just try to drink plenty. But I don't measure. That's not a measurable for me.
Okay. So, for example, I have drank about 40 ounces of water today.
It's a lot of water.
So I plan on drinking another at least 20 to 40 ounces of water today.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of keep track of it based on the vessel of which holds my water. So that's kind of how I, depending on what cup I'm using, I keep track of how much I'm at and where I'm at each day.
Mm-hmm.
So water, I would give myself a 9 out of 10. I'm almost always really great with getting in a sufficient amount of water each day, hydrated. What about steps?
I mean, it's not something I've really been tracking, but I would say, like, if the goal was to get 10,000,
Okay.
which is would be a very doable goal for me, I don't. Probably a 3.
Oh, so that's one that you might need to work on. Okay. I'd give myself
If I was trying to work on that one, yeah.
yeah. Okay. I'd give myself an 8 out of 10 for steps most days of the week. I'm not perfect at it, but most days of the week I do get in steps and I track those steps with a Fitbit. So that would be a behavior that is in alignment with the goal that I have. Workouts. What would you say you are?
I'm probably a 9.
9?
Yeah.
Okay. Great. I also am recently, I wasn't all summer. All summer I was probably closer to a 5 out of 10. But now that I'm back at the gym, the kids have gone back to school. I have a clear schedule. I'm back to about a 9 out of 10 on that. What about alcohol?
Oh, I guess that's a 10.
Yeah, 10 out of 10, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say both of us are about a 10 out of 10 on that one. He doesn't drink at all. I have had 2 alcoholic drinks all year long, and it's September.
So you had one at Disney.
And one when Christina, one of my really good friends, broke up with her fiance.
Oh, okay.
But that's a whole nother story.
Okay.
So there you go.
Gotcha.
Okay. It was a supportive, what was the drink I had? Pina colada. It was a supportive pina colada.
Yes, it was a pina colada.
Okay. How about snacking? Are your snacking behaviors in line with your goal?
I'd say probably.
Probably. Is that a 0? Is that a 10? Is that
I'd say it's probably like, I don't know, like a 6.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if I'm in a phase where I'm trying to put on lean mass, like that kind of works in the snack department favor.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Okay. I'd give myself a 7 out of 10. I'm very conscious of making sure that the snacks I do have, I'm prioritizing protein during those snacks. However, I might not, I should measure, and here I go using the word should, and I tell my clients to, not should themselves, but measuring my food would be more in alignment with my goal. Mm-hmm. So there's another behavior. My measuring of my food is probably a 3 out of 10 when I do it with meals that I'm not filming. Meals that I film, I will and make it, or put in my cookbook or put on Instagram. I definitely measure those because I want to be accurate with the calorie counts. But other meals, I don't video every single meal I put in my mouth. So those go untracked many times. And it would be a better behavior to track those for my goal.
Yeah.
What about undistracted eating?
Undistracted eating.
Yeah. What about mindfully eating?
A 1.
A 1. Okay.
Because the only meal that I probably eat on a regular basis, like let's say like a Monday through Friday, would probably be dinner. Because breakfast and lunch, it's going to be at my computer.
Okay.
Or it's going to be slammed. Like that's just how I work.
Okay.
I know it's not perfect.
Yeah.
Quit judging me.
I'm not judging you. There's no judging.
No, it hurts. It's hurting.
Is it hurting to self-evaluate?
Yeah, I'm thinking a lot.
Next, what about eating fruits and vegetables?
Yep, pretty good.
Pretty good. Is that a 0, a 1, a 5, a 10? This is a scale of 1 to 10, Tyler.
6, 7.
Okay.
No, 7, 8, 7.5.
It keeps going up.
7.5.
Okay. Okay.
I don't love them like you do, but I eat my veggies.
I might give myself a 10 on eating fruits and vegetables. I eat fruits and vegetables all day long, every day. I love fruits and vegetables. I absolutely adore peaches and apples and slaw and salads and all kinds of things. So yesterday we had Brussels sprouts and we had yellow squash and zucchini with our dinner because I wanted all the vegetables. I didn't just want a few. And all right. So those are some behaviors. I didn't list all the behaviors, but those are just some behaviors. And you can kind of think to yourself, where are you? How in line are your behaviors with your goals? So overall, take the numbers you thought of in your head. And I would say that I'm probably around a 7 or an 8 when it comes to my behaviors being in line with my goals. I could be better at it. So where are you at overall?
That probably
where would
about
you
the
give
same.
yourself a score?
Probably about the same. Because there's also, some of those things like I'm not focused on, so those kind of I don't give them any weight.
Okay.
Like weighing my food, pardon the pun, I don't give a lot of weight because I'm not in that place right now where I want to be weighing food or need to be weighing food. So.
Okay. All right. So the next big question is, what might you do differently? So you gave yourself a scale, 1 to 10, how in line your behaviors are with your goal. The next question is, what might you do differently? In other words, I want you to imagine that you are already jacked Tyler at your goal. I'm serious. I want you to imagine like Mr. Muscle, right? At your goal, Mr.
Okay.
Muscular Tyler, running around without his shirt on.
Okay.
And
move on.
What has that guy been doing differently than what you're currently doing? What is he doing?
Well, I would say that the sleep is probably a little bit better.
Okay.
And he probably is tracking his calories better.
Okay.
Because he's probably making sure he's getting enough food.
Okay.
Because that's also possibilities. I might not be getting enough.
Okay.
On a consistent basis. And probably like with working out, like having a better plan. Like I have a plan, but it's like, it's not.
Okay.
It's not that much of a plan.
Okay. So you listed 3 things that you imagine you could see
Improve
that
on.
person doing differently. You could improve on.
Yes.
Okay.
correct.
Great. So now you have 3 things. So let me list 3 things for myself.
Okay.
If I was, what could I be doing differently? Imagine I am at my, the weight I would want to be for like maybe a photo shoot or something like that. Then I would probably be adding cardio to my weekly routine. I wouldn't be replacing my strength training. I would just be adding cardio and short bouts of cardio, maybe 20 minutes a week. The person would also be more accurately tracking. And let's see, what else? Those are it. And then just making sure that I'm a little bit better with getting in my daily movement, making sure there's not, instead of having 1 or 2 days a week where I don't the steps in, get in the steps
every day,
85 to 90% of the month, which is almost every day. So there you go. So you should list your things. And then the final question is, I want you now to write down times that you foresee your behaviors not matching up with your goals. So then go back to question 1.
Okay.
And I want you to think about, when is it that your behaviors don't match up with your goal the most? Is it morning? Is it nighttime? Is it weekends? Is it when you're working during a work day, work hours? Is it bedtime? So think about the times. For me, I can tell you bedtime, my routine could get better. I could tell you that the snacking that I talked about earlier, how I'm not great at measuring and tracking snacks, those, and the snacks kind of get out of hand for me. That usually happens mostly in the evening times. So that would be a specific time of day of which I need to look closer at my barrier. What about you?
Well, I would say probably generally is probably evening is probably always the toughest. Because when it comes down to watching what you want to eat, I feel like that's probably when it falls apart for most people. I know that probably when I think it falls apart for me. Because of the evening, you're unwinding. Cookie sounds pretty good. So does ice cream. After we ate and stuffed ourselves with whatever we had at dinner. And then getting to bed on time. And then, how many other little habits you might throw in on top of that. Yeah, bedtime, I think, is probably, kind of winding the day down. It's probably the most difficult.
Okay. So the last question on here is not really one that you can answer because I'm going to give you the answer. The question is, how do the behaviors that are not helping you fit into your long-term goals? And the answer is they don't. The behaviors that are not helping you do not fit into your long-term goal, period. And so the evening snacking, not tracking, the going to bed at a later time than we should be going to bed, or the not incorporating cardio into my day when I could find, if it's really 3 20-minute sessions, that's an hour a week.
Yeah, you can figure that out.
That could be done, right? So I can figure out how to add these things back into my life so that my behaviors do align with my goal. I can either practice what I've been practicing, or I can practice a new practice. I can create a solution to this. I can create an intentional goal. How am I going to be intentional about getting in the 3 20-minute sessions of cardio? How am I going to be intentional about measuring snacks? How am I going to be intentional about getting in steps most days of the month? How am I going to be intentional about all of these things that I identified as my barriers to my goals? We don't have to be a 10 out of 10. I'm not trying to tell any of the listeners that you have to be a 10 out of 10 in your behaviors. But I am telling you that if you are sitting at a 6 or 7, even a 7.5, you might feel stuck in your goal. And if you feel stuck, that's because there's something holding you back. And what's holding you back is a barrier. What you need to do is identify that barrier, identify what time of day that barrier happens, and identify a solution to that barrier. And instead of practicing the problem, practice the solution. Because when we practice the solution, we move our needle closer to our goal. And that's the entire intent and purpose of this practice, of this exercise that we just did.
That's the bottom line.
That is. So if you did this exercise in your vehicle or while you're on a walk, you might take your thoughts and go home, grab a piece of paper, and just kind of maybe write down 3 things that you intentionally thought of. And make sure you don't just write down what your barriers are, but make sure you also are intentional about what your solution is to that. So for me, my solution might be staying at the gym 20 minutes after I work out with my trainer and doing 20 minutes of cardio because I go and meet my trainer 3 times a week. And so there you go. Bam. I'm already there. I'm already at the gym. Get on a piece of cardio equipment, do 20 minutes. I will still get home in time to get the work done, and it'll be done. It'll be off my plate. So that should be how I try that out this week.
Yeah. Are you trying to get to bed earlier? Set alarm on your... Do the opposite of what alarms normally do. This alarm to go get in bed.
Right. I actually do have an alarm on my phone that tells me to get in bed, but now I'm so used to ignoring it. I just ignore it.
I know.
And so, but I mean, even the idea that maybe taking your phone and plugging it in a place that is not your bedroom would be a good idea so that it's not right next to me.
Yeah. unfortunately. Talk about it. That's great advice that is difficult to do.
It is difficult to do, but it's helpful.
It is.
If your goal matters, if your goal matters, it's helpful.
Yeah. No, it's 100% the case. No lying.
Okay, so if you're looking for more weight loss resources, maybe you need to calculate your calorie deficit, maybe you're just looking for low-calorie cookbooks, maybe you want more, maybe you want to dive more deeply into the 4 M's of fitness, mind shift, meal shift, micro habits, or muscle building, you can do that at thecaloriedeficitqueen.com and find all the ebooks and the e-courses and all the things there. And you can calculate your calorie deficit free. Woohoo! Thank you for joining us for another episode of Transform Yourself. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, share the love. And until next time, keep shining, keep smiling, and keep transforming yourself.
Adios.